Hello, welcome to Cosmic Readings and Messages. This is a updated Cosmic Readings and Message for the world, the globe, on this 10th day, Good Friday, April 10th, 2020. And I'm doing this live on YouTube. I'm not recording it and then putting it on. It's going to go directly right into YouTube. I am not monitoring any type of chat. There is no chat room for this message. I don't know if anybody's actually going to tune in. It was just set up real quick, but I wanted to get it recorded in live so that it would be there. Since it is April 10th, and this is a follow-up to the last couple of readings that I've done regarding the global pandemic, and also what seems to be a world change that we're in the middle of right now. And I've been getting lots and lots of dreams and lots of messages, a lot of repeating messages here with the messages from your angels cards and the tarot cards. And I'm going to just shuffle the angel cards here. And I'm not going to let one flip. If one flips, I'll grab it, but I'm just going to go through these cards. I'm going to go through them with my eyes closed and just stop in a few moments here. Let me just shuffle them up a little bit more. Okay. And I'm just going to stop right here. And whatever card this is, I'm going to just put it right here onto the right on the table here. I've also added an extra light to the table so things are a little bit brighter for this reading. I'm also going to go through the major arcana tarot cards just so I have a card sitting there just to make it look nice on the video because I didn't set this up in advance. So here we go. I'll just throw that right on there. I don't know what those cards are, but the spirits and angels already know that I'm going to flip them over in a moment. Let me just move the microphone here. I'm going to flip them over and see how we start this reading without asking any question. They know I'm going to do that because the cards are there and I can't help myself. But if you're new to the channel, if you're just watching this one, please, I highly recommend you go back and watch the intro video to the channel. It gives you a little bit of information about my background and how I do my readings, and also how I can be a little unconventional. I don't do my readings the conventional, professional, as they say, way. I use the cards in my own way to give me the messages from the spirits, angels, and universe, which I use those three terms collectively. Sometimes I may just use one or two of them, but I like to cover all my bases. Again, go back and watch the video for my introduction because I'm actually a science person. I'm looking for validation. I'm looking for evidence all the time. I'm looking for proof. And so, you know, this type of stuff, this angels and spirits and universe energy and that kind of stuff wouldn't normally be associated with somebody like me, but my life path has crossed me, having crossed paths into this realm, and I can't explain it, I can't prove it, but I know it's there, and I know that we're being watched over by the angels and spirits, and it's all for good. They're there to help us. And anyway, there's something big going on in the world. Obviously, we have this pandemic, which is affecting everyone. And I'm going to turn the microphone off for just a second because I have to do a quick cough. Sorry about that. It is springtime here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I have the windows open because it was very warm and humid for a couple of days, and now it's cooled off. It's almost like natural air conditioning outside. So I have the windows open, and I also have allergies. And so there is pollen in the air, there's stuff in the air, and so I apologize if my voice starts getting scratchy or something like that. But anyway, we're in this pandemic, but also the messages that have been coming through and visualizations. I've been getting lots of visualizations in the past 2 or 3 weeks, and seeing, like, in dreams and stuff, I've been presented with a lot of different things, indicating that there's something else going on at the same time. And as I found out last night, they are linked. This pandemic and this other issue that's going on that has to do with dark, evil. You can almost call it the devil himself, but it's bigger than that, and it's global. It's not just one person. It's not just some organization. It's almost like a global. The metaphor that I was given was a giant octopus, with its tentacles wrapped around the earth. It's touching every ocean, every landmass, and it's intertwined in everything we do, and it's an evil octopus. It represents corruption and evilness, and it's embedded in everything, and it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be brought out in the open. And you know what? It's interesting because it's there and it's wrapped up in so much of everything. People may not even realize it. And it's wrapped up in the media. It's wrapped up in government. It's wrapped up, and this is for the globe. This is not just the United States. It's wrapped up everywhere, and it's global, and it's being destroyed. And the angels are involved with this. I've asked questions over the last couple of readings dealing with some world governments, in particular because I'm in the United States. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, is involved. And I find it interesting because if you pay attention to his press conferences, he's been referring to this pandemic as an invisible war. And I started noticing that, like, in the last couple of weeks, he's been saying this invisible war, the invisible enemy. And it's interesting because in my reading, when I saw the visualization of that octopus with its tentacles around the world, and it's in everything, and people are just like walking around, I've seen, like, they've shown me like pictures of cities and countrysides, and they show me that these tentacles are like intertwined in everything, and they're going through the banks, and they're going through government, and people they don't even notice it because it's everywhere. It's like, it's part of everyday life. And so it's basically invisible. It's there. Like, we just don't realize that there's this evil corruption that's intertwined with everything. And it's going to be destroyed. And I think it's going to be destroyed, or at least brought out into the light. And tentacle by tentacle, it's going to be wiped out. And there's going to be money inside of this because it's so intertwined with so much stuff around the world. It has accumulated a lot of money. I'm not saying it's like a bank robber. It's kind of like it's just wrapped up in so much stuff. And then once it gets destroyed, the money that it was holding on to just gets thrown back out into the globe, back out into the world. So there's going to be money that's going to come out of this that belongs to all of us, basically. And so that's tied into, like, the economy recovering around the world because this evilness, this corruption is going to be brought out. And it's being fought behind the scenes, invisibly to most of us, during this pandemic. And so I've been getting a lot of cards with numbers that keep popping up, and I've been shown numbers in my dreams. And today is one of those days. And that's why I'm doing this reading today. This is April 10th, 2020. It's early in the morning, and I am going to go to sleep soon. So I want to get this out there on YouTube. And so that's the purpose of this reading, because either we're going to look back on April 10th and see that this was a significant turning point, or maybe something's going to be revealed today, or the beginning of something being revealed today. The President of the United States is supposed to be holding a press conference, even though it's Good Friday. Apparently there is going to be one today in the afternoon, early evening, in the United States. And I guess there's going to be ones happening over the weekend. As I yawn here, and I apologize for that because it is late at night. And Easter is on Sunday. Now, we're also in the season of Passover this week. We had, of course, Palm Sunday last Sunday. Today's, it's now Good Friday, and then we have Easter. And the 10th, 11th, and 12th are 3 days, which I think are going to be significant. So there might be things happening over the next 3 days. And I'm just getting the feeling that after this weekend, things are going to be things are going to happen fast. Decisions are going to be made. A new beginning is going to start, and we may not realize it. And some of this may be happening in the background. It may be this invisible war going on that's going on behind the scenes, and then it's all going to be brought forth. And other readings previous to this, and I do recommend you go back and watch some of the other ones, and I know they're kind of long. I've gotten indications that the month of May is going to be very, very good. It's almost like we're going to be coming out of this by the month of May. And that's all I can say. So I'm doing this reading tonight, or early this morning, because I want to see what the spirits, angels, collectively the universe has to tell us for these next 3 days. I want to ask those questions just to find out if I get any repeat cards, which would be confirmations, or any new information that we should keep in mind. So we start off with these 2 cards that I just have sitting there on the table. The angel card is Vanessa. Can you see that? And the Vanessa card says, to make your decision, ask yourself, which way brings me closer to my divine purpose? Which way takes me away from it? Now, this is a reading. This is for the world. So I'm getting the feeling that decisions are going to be made over the next couple of days. And there will be people. This is not for me. This is for the globe. But maybe the people involved with what's going on behind the scenes, I don't know. But maybe it's all of us. We will have to ask ourselves, which way brings us closer to our divine purpose? Which way takes us away from it? And I've sort of gotten that kind of message over the last couple of days. We're going to have, because of what's going on in the outcome, there's going to be some anger, there's going to be some anxiousness, there's going to be stress over that, because some people are going to be, I think what it's going to be, it's going to be like people have believed something or things are a certain way, and they believe it in their core, and they're going to find out it was all a lie. Because of the corruption that's going to be uncovered, the evilness that's going to be uncovered, they're going to find out that all wasn't as good as they thought. That's the only way that I can put this. I mean, you're going to have to sit and say, okay, am I going to go along with this new idea, this new beginning, knowing what I now know? Is that going to take me closer to my divine life purpose? Or is it going to take me away from it if I just want to stay, stuck in the old way? That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. So, it's very interesting when you think about it. Now the other card here is card 19 again, the Sun, which is the new beginning, which is everything that's good. Excuse me for just a moment. All right, needed to get a quick drink of water there. My apologies. The Sun is, it has the baby, so it represents the new beginning, happiness, joy, success. So what I'm getting is, we're going into that period where we're going to be heading toward the sun. I don't mean we're going to crash into the sun, but we're going to be going into this period where things are going to turn around, and it's going to be, all indications are the finances are going to turn around. It's going to be a new beginning, and there's going to be happiness, material happiness, and joy. People are going to be getting back to normal. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen this weekend. This is the outcome of what's going on. This is what we're leading into. So that's what I'm getting here. I'm going to move that light just a little bit. Does that help? Yeah, that helps. There we go. You can see things a little bit better. Okay. So that's what we start off with. But I haven't asked any particular question. Thank you, spirits and angels, universe, for coming through and giving me a nice positive start to this reading. So, spirits and angels, I have the angel message cards here. Is there a message for the world, the globe as a collective, for these next 3 days, today, the 10th, the 11th, and 12th, ending on Easter? Is there something that the world needs to keep in mind over these 3 days? Advice or a message to the world for these 3 days in particular. Today, the 10th, Good Friday through Sunday, Easter Sunday. Oh, okay. One card did flip. The other card is still upside down. Okay. Well, the Serena card popped. And this is the abundance card. This is a repeat too. This came up, I think, yesterday when I did the reading, or the one before that. I've been getting so many messages, but this is a repeat card. I am the angel of abundance. You will receive the money that you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. So the world economy is in a total mess right now. It's in chaos, especially here in the United States. People are not knowing if they're going to have their job back, or if they're going to have a job to go to, because business owners don't know if they're going to open. I know the stock market went up because it's been on a roller coaster. It's like every time we get a little bit of news, either one way or the other, it goes up and down, and it went up again on Thursday. But Serena's telling us the money's going to come back, and God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. Now remember, also in previous messages, maybe it was this card or another card that was talking about with the demise of the evil octopus, or the bad octopus metaphor that's got its tentacles around the world. There's money inside of it. So when it's destroyed, there's going to be money that comes out of it. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. I mean, obviously, there's not going to be money falling from the sky, but I think it's going to get back into the money that's locked up in this evilness and this corruption is going to wind up getting back into the system. And I don't think it's going to, something like that wouldn't even be announced. It's just something that will get there. And I like how this card says God is in charge of how that will happen. Have faith. So you will receive the money that you need, and God is in charge of how that will happen. So I think it's just going to wind up, in the metaphorical killing of the evil octopus, and the money comes pouring out like a piggy bank being smashed. It's not going to actually be like that. That's a metaphor. But the money is going to go back into the economies of the world, and it will be there, and it'll help all of us. There will be this extra money in the world. So, and I don't, that has to do with global economies, and I'm not an economist. I'm not a person in charge of currencies or anything like that. But I think that's what will happen. And also just the fact that I think, the economy will come back once we pass through this period. And there's going to be the happiness. There's going to be people getting their jobs back. There's going to be that hopefulness and that rebirth, because people are going to want to do this. And I think that's going to help because we're being guided by the angels. So thank you, spirits and angels, for giving us the Serena card. Is there a major arcana card that you need to let us know about for this 3-day period in particular? Is there something that we should know for this 3-day period, today, the 10th, Good Friday through Easter Sunday? So I'm just using the major arcana cards from the tarot because that's where I get my big messages from. Okay, this card just flipped over, and it's another repeat. I mean, there's only so many major arcana cards, but several of them haven't come through, but this one is a repeat. And it kind of reminds me of the virus, just because of the shape. It is round. It's the World card, number 21. The World card. Now, I'm asking for this weekend, this 3-day period, and this card talks about completing, completion, a goal being finished. Again, we might look back on this weekend, maybe today, the 10th, and it's a pivotal point or a pivotal time period where we're going to be conquering this pandemic, and there's going to be fewer and fewer people coming down with the virus and getting sick or dying from it. Maybe there will be a new projection of the mortality rate or something. But this is a very positive card because the World card is the last card in the major arcana. It's number 21, and then you start your next phase. It's the end of one period and the beginning. You get ready for the next. It's enlightenment. It's completion. You're done, and now you move on to the next. And so in relationship to what I'm asking about this weekend, apparently the spirits and angels are telling us that this weekend, this 3-day period, is that completion, and next week starts something new after the 12th, after Easter. And also, I've been getting this whole idea that, this is all pretty big stuff. I mean, we're talking about a pandemic going on. We've got something evil that's being conquered in the background. And so it's biblical. This is big. It's impacting everybody on the earth. To follow up with the spirits and angels, what message do you have for next week after the 12th? I'm just curious, using the major arcana cards again, what's the big message for next week that you would like us to know? And these cards are acting kind of weird again. They're not really... I'm not able to go through them as quickly. So that means there's an important card. That's sort of my symbol that something is big going on. Okay. Here's the card that flipped out. And it's another repeat card. Temperance. The 14th. Well, that would be next week. We have the 12th on Sunday, it's Easter Sunday, and then the 13th is Monday, the 14th is Tuesday. But this is just another repeat card. This kind of reminds me a lot of Archangel Michael. And he's pouring the water between the two cups. So he's talking about balance. There's going to be balance again. So we're going to be getting back to balance after next week. Let me put that card here in front. So it's Temperance. And again, it's a very beautiful card because it has the light in the background. It's got this nice spring type of scene. It's a beautiful day. We've got balance back. It reminds me a lot of the Archangel Michael card. It's a very powerful card. Harmony is another word that comes to mind with this card. So harmony returns or starts to return. moderation. So I think things are going to. I'm getting that a calmer period is going to be coming after this weekend because of whatever is going to be happening. Spirits, angels, can you give me a little bit more information about this weekend, the 10th, 11th, and 12th, filling in the blanks, like more details using the minor arcana cards to go along with Serena, abundance coming, and and the world card, the completion, starting a new cycle. Can you give us more information from the minor arcana cards for this weekend, the 10th, the 11th, and 12th, Good Friday through Easter? Is there something important that we should know about from the minor arcana cards? I'm going to shuffle them again because they're very locked up. So again, there is an important message that's trying to come out. That's my indication. When they sort of flow like butter and cards just fly out, it's not as important. It's like the cards just flow, but when they start acting like this, in my opinion, for the way that I do my readings, when I get this feeling, it's like there's that one card that's like, the deck wants me to get to that one card. The angels are waiting for me to get to that one specific card, and that's the one that flips. So they all act kind of stiff, and the whole deck, here we go. Okay, this is another repeat card. It's interesting that this one popped. It's the Five of Cups. A little bit of a gloomy card, but again, this is for this weekend, this 3-day period, and this is filling in some more blanks. Five of Cups. So a lot of people are sort of in despair. I'm immediately getting, the Five of Cups. And the fives are considered the change cards. The Five of Cups themselves is talking about expectations, but also loss and grief. And the thing is with this particular card is it's the Five Cups, but 3 of them are the ones that are fallen over, and 2 of them are upright, and the person is not paying any attention to the 2 that are upright. You don't cry over spilt milk. In this case, you've got 5 cups of milk, 3 of them spilled, but you still got 2 that are upright, and you're not paying any attention to them. Now, this weekend, people are worried. Some people want to go to church for Easter. They want to go do, religious ceremonies in regards to Good Friday and Easter. It's supposed to be a happy time. You're supposed to go outside and, do Easter egg hunts and, all these, and it's springtime, and you're cooped up in your house in many places around the world and in the United States, by states. You have to stay in your home. You can only go out if you're going to the store once or twice a week. So there's all these restrictions. So people are feeling very closed and like they're missing out, and they're feeling grief. And, you're watching the news, and it's just, horrible news after horrible news. And the news is doing a really good job of pushing that fear and scariness. So people are feeling like this over this 3-day period. And it's supposed to be a rebirth time. It's supposed to be great. And those 2 cups are sitting there. And that's what you need to focus on. Not the 3 that are spilled over. The 2 that are still sitting there that are perfectly fine. That's a good message for this weekend. It's not a very dark card, but the skies are grayish. It's not a bright blue sky with the sun out, but it's also not a storm with lightning and thunder or anything. It's sort of just a gray sky. So it's not a sad picture. But it's not a really happy picture. It's this whole crying over spilt milk when there's good things that are coming. And so the spirits and angels, the universe is telling us, don't worry about those 3 cups that have fallen over. Look at the 2 that are upright. they're still full. They're still good. So don't feel that way. Let's see, 5. Next month is the 5th month, May. Maybe that's when all the cups are upright again, A lot of people in the world are feeling abandoned. Like, they're lonely, they're trapped. They feel that they've lost their job, they're losing their work, they're losing their income. They feel abandoned. And they shouldn't. Because the spirits and angels have been consistent that we're entering a new phase, a new beginning, a rebirth. From the spirits and angels, please come forward with the minor arcana cards for after this period. What message do you have for us for after this weekend, after Easter? We have the 5 of Cups for this 3-day period, feeling of loss, regret, abandonment. What message do you have for everybody in the world after this time period, starting Monday the 13th? Oops, okay, a card just fell on the floor. Okay. This is another repeat card. I had this the other day. The 6 of Pentacles. And 6s are like a pause. You're getting ready for the next thing. Now this is for after this weekend. So here we see some people that are feeling like they're in despair. It's almost like, you know what? It's like, here's that person that's crying over spilt milk. 2 cups are still upright. And then it's almost like, here's 2 of those people that have loss and regret and grief, but there's someone here to help them. And look at the sky. It's a blue sky. It's a beautiful day again. So, yeah, the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is talking about giving or receiving. So we have somebody that's giving and the people are receiving. Also, it points to help and generosity. So this is afterwards. There's going to be generosity. People are going to be helping each other get out of this. Let's see, what else am I picking up from this? 6 of Pentacles. Pentacles usually represent money or material things too. So money could be more money coming in, the beginning of a new job, or you going back to your job, or maybe you'll start a new career or something like that. Any debts get paid off that maybe you've accumulated over the last couple of weeks or over a month during this darker period. You can look forward to that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately, but remember, Serena, the very first card here, says the money is going to come back. God is in charge. The universe is in charge of when that's going to happen. But it's going to come back. And it's going to be after this weekend. So that's all part of this new beginning, this cycle ending. Balance returns. Don't cry over spilt milk, because the help is on the way. And everything gets better. Spirits, angels, could you clarify this even more with an angel card, a message card, messages from your angels for after this weekend, after this 3-day period of Friday, today, Good Friday, through Sunday, Easter Sunday. What message do you have from the messages from your angel cards for after this weekend that clarifies the 6 of Pentacles that you just gave me? Whoops. Okay, this card just flipped over. Okay. And this is another repeat card. I love this card. I love this card. I love this card. Go back, look at some of my other readings of this when I do my regular astrological signs that I use for categorization purposes, because I don't do astrology, but I use the signs. Go back and listen to some of those, because when this card comes up, I always get a laugh out of it. It's the Fiona card. I love this card. This is the, you asked, here you go. She might as well like just say, she's holding her hands out like, you asked, here you go. Now that you've asked the angels for help, be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help. So again, this is another case of the angels coming forth and telling us, we've been asking. I've been asking. What's going to happen? People are wondering, how is this going to end? People are praying for good things to happen. They want this pandemic to end. They want the money to come back. They want to get their lives back in order, because very quickly, many, many people are becoming, here, the Five of Cups. Just paying and focusing mostly on the regrets, the loss, when it's going to get better. We're going to have balance. The angels are now saying, we've asked. We've heard. The angels are saying, we've heard you. That's what they do. They hear us. We've heard you. You asked for heaven's help. We're going to help you. It's like, here you go. Here. We're going to help you. Wow. Amazing. And this is for the period after this weekend. So that's when the help is going to be coming in. That's when things are going to start turning around. So we'll see what happens next week, starting Monday the 13th. We'll see how this all works out. But, I mean, the messages have been very, very consistent and very positive. Let me take these away. I'm gonna ask about let me just put these cards back where they belong, in the right piles of decks. So give me just a moment for that. This goes in the major arcana. That's minor, minor, and minor. Oh no, that's for major. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and find out about the President of the United States, Donald Trump. What message do the spirits and angels have for the President of the United States during this 3-day period? Just out of curiosity. Spirits and angels, if you could give a message to the President of the United States that the whole world could hear, what would it be? This card, huh? Well, that's interesting. The Astara card, which I don't think... maybe this came out like 2 weeks ago. The Astara card. I like this card. It says, you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires, and don't compromise. That could be taken so many different ways. But that's the message to the President of the United States. Wow. You deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires, and don't compromise. As I've been saying, as I said in the last couple of days, and the message came through, he's trying to unite people, and he's catching a lot of flack from a lot of different people, the media and the opposing party. There's a lot of bitterness and hatred, and it spreads out. It's all over the world. There's a lot of hate for this president, and I got the card the other day that was telling us that he's been put in a very bad position for somebody like him, because he's a business person, and we're in a global pandemic, so he doesn't know much about medicine. He's learning a lot, probably. And he's had to surround himself with a lot of people where he's used to being the person in charge. And whatever this other invisible war that's going on, that the spirits and angels, the universe collectively, are alluding to with this corruption and evilness that I keep seeing, I think he wants to take action on that. And again, we're going to find out stuff. I mean, go back to the previous readings. We're going to find out about this stuff. Whatever else is going on with this, the metaphorical evil octopus, we're eventually going to find out. So he wants to get rid of that. Obviously, he's involved with that, and I think that's part of this invisible war. It's going on behind the scenes, but also we have this virus which is invisible. We can't see that either, and that's the official story. And that's the one that's affecting the most people right now. But I think both are, because the octopus is entangled in everything. So that's been around for a much longer time. And we know that there's corruption in the world, but it's intertwined with this right now. And there's so much going on. And that's why the spirits and angels have been showing me a lot of stuff and giving me a lot of messages. So this card is telling the president, you deserve the best. It doesn't say you're going to get the best. It says you deserve the best. Whether he gets it or not, we'll see. But reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. So I hope, if he's trying to help the world, and that's his desire, then he should reach for the stars and just get it done. And we saw previous readings, he's got Archangel Michael on his side. So, who's the head of all the archangels and sort of a warrior, the lead warrior, that can go into battle. I should get my little my Archangel Michael little statue here, since I brought him up. There he is. He's over here by the computer. Yeah, let's put him right down here in the front, like that. There we go. Actually, I do have a little box here that's set up. So let's see. Can we sit him on there? We fall over? No, he's actually going to sit there. Oh, look at that. That looks really good on the video, doesn't it? I should have had him there before. And he's at the right angle because there's a slight tilt on this camera and on that box there, because I have things tilted for the camera. I actually do other video stuff with this camera and this setup. So I've got things set up at a certain angle. And they have nothing to do with cosmic readings and messages. So I set this up for these readings. And so I have things at a certain angle for the camera. And it just turns out Archangel Michael fits perfectly there. Maybe I can move him over just a wee bit. There, does that look any better? Maybe. There he is. And it reminds me a lot of that Temperance card that we saw before. I thought it was on top of the deck, but no, that's the Astara card that I just threw down. Okay, so Spirits, Angels, Universe, thank you for giving us these messages over these next 3 days. Is there any final words, any advice for the viewers, the people all of humanity of the world? If you could get a message out to everyone for these next 3 days, or maybe the next week, what would it be? Oh, okay. I just dropped like 4 cards on the floor, so let me just shuffle these again. I'm getting tired, so I am going to be wrapping this reading up. And it looks like it's going to be under an hour this time, which is a good thing. Okay. Spirits and Angels, what is your final message for the people of our world for this time period, maybe the next week, as we go through whatever we're going through right now with this pandemic, the elimination of evil, the destruction of the evil octopus that has its tentacles around the world. What message do you have for the world to end off this reading on Good Friday? Friday the 10th of April, 2020. Okay, well, this is another repeat card. This is the one that flipped out. The other confirmation. It's a good. I think we got this card as like the last card a couple of days ago. Leela. Sitting out there, beautiful sky, just thinking. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you. Gain a positive perspective. So again, be positive. If you can, go outside and enjoy nature. Just relax, contemplate. Be positive. Don't focus on the spilt milk. You know, the 5 cups. Don't worry about those 3 that have fallen over. You got 2 that are upright. The money will be coming back. Abundance will return. A new cycle is about to begin. It may not be, like a snap of a finger, but it's going to be coming fairly soon. So just relax, meditate. Ask the spirits and angels for guidance and help if you need it. Stay in touch with your friends and family and be positive. I mean, that's a great final message. Going to the major arcana cards. Any final message for the world from the major arcana cards, spirits and angels? Is there any final word from the major arcana cards you want? Okay, all right. That one just fell on the floor. It just sort of flipped over in my finger and then fell onto the floor, and it's card number 8. Strength. Strength. The card's name says it all. We need to have strength. We're going to get through this. You need to take care of yourself. You need to respect yourself. Be courageous. Know that you have that strength to get through this. Also be forgiving. Don't let things get to you. Have the strength to get through this time period. Really good message. We all have this strength. We just need to tap into it and know that things are going to get better. And again, going back to this, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling stressed, go outside. Go out in nature if you can. Go out in the backyard. Meditate. Just enjoy good weather if you have it. If it's raining, even watch a movie or something that you enjoy, and relax, and know that the angels, like Archangel Michael, is watching over us. Can you give us another message here from the minor arcana cards to wrap up this reading for this period as we go into Good Friday and then through Easter and beyond? Is there any other final message from the minor arcana cards that, okay, 2 cards flipped out. The page, now the pages are messengers. I also say that the knights are messengers. They come in on their horses, but the pages are also messengers. And in this case, we have the Page of Wands. And the wand has some little sprouts on it. New things growing. The Page of Wands tells us to be original, can also represent like finding out something new, like discovering something new. And again, we're going to be finding out stuff, that's for sure. We're going into a new period, so based on what the spirits, angels, the universe collectively is telling me. So be ready for this. He can also be artistic, but I'm not picking that up with this particular card for this meaning. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. We need to just be ready for discovering new things and be ready for this new phase that's coming in. He can also represent, or she can represent, new projects, new ideas. You know, as things change and we go into this new period after this pandemic, after whatever evilness is pulled out, as things start getting back to normal and we enter this new period, you know, we're going to learn a lot of things. We're going to have new ideas, and we are going to make new discoveries. And in previous readings, it's like we're entering a really, really good period after this. So I think that card is telling us to embrace that. Now also we have the Queen of Swords, and she's a repeat card. She represented the president the other day with one of my questions, but this is something that we're going to end off with, so this has nothing to do with that. And the queens are influencers, and the Queen of Swords kind of reminds us about laughing. She has a sense of humor. She's also sensitive. She is the queen, but she has a lot of pride, and she also represents clearing things away. Like, if you don't need it, get rid of it. And I think that's part of the same message. We're going to be getting rid of what we don't need. Collectively, we're going to get rid of this evilness in the world, this corruption, this evil. The metaphorical octopus with its tentacles all around the world. It's going to be gone. So, he's going to be pushed away. The Queen of Swords is very honest. She represents honesty. So we have to be honest with ourselves. As I said before, we may find out things that are going to change our minds, or we may find out facts. We may find out things about the world and people and certain things that we didn't want to believe before. Like, there may be secrets that are uncovered. We may find out how far this evilness and corruption goes, and it may surprise us. And we need to cut that out of our mind. We need to be honest with ourselves and say, I was wrong. I was thinking one way when it was some other way. Because evil and corruption is entwined with everything, and you may not have even realized it. So again, we find out stuff, and we got to be honest with ourselves and with each other, and be helpful to each other. Have the strength and courage. And again, if we're getting stressed out, go out into nature and meditate and just reflect on it and think about it and ask the angels, ask the universe for help. All right, so what I have been doing over the last couple of readings is, as I put the cards away, of course, I look at the bottom of the deck. So let's see what's at the bottom of the deck of the angel message cards. Well, this is interesting. It's the Ariel card on the angel messages. This card doesn't pop up too often. Let's see what it says. New psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer, and meditation. Okay. So, not everybody's into psychic stuff and spiritual stuff. I'm a science person, so I shouldn't be, but I've got wrapped up in this, and I can't explain it, but I'm wrapped up in it because of my life experiences. And maybe a lot of other people are going to realize that too, that maybe their faith will become stronger because of what's going on in all religions around the world, not just the Jewish faith for Passover, and we're in Holy Week for the Christians, but all religions may suddenly have a better understanding or a feeling toward their faith. So new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you view the world and yourself. Allow your spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer, and meditation. So again, and this is probably happening a lot around the world. People are sort of cooped up in their houses, and maybe they are reading their religious books or studying more about their own faith. So this Ariel card is actually very, very good. It sort of fits because it's sort of another ending note here. Just an additional bit of information that the spirits and angels want me to know because I'm flipping the cards over. Let me flip over the major arcana cards. Okay. Wow. Now the repeat card. The Tower. Yep. The Tower is going to fall. Abrupt change. We're in the middle of that change, and it's happening right now. A lot of things are happening. Probably behind the scenes more than we know. Of course, with the pandemic, we're going to be coming out of that. I think, this tower falling is the signal that it's happening right now. The world is having this major event happen. And it's two things really at once, this corruption and this evilness that's also coming out at the same time with this virus that's being used as sort of a cover for some of it. The tower represents upheaval, and the world is definitely in the middle of upheaval right now. For the evilness, it's unwanted change. But it's changed nonetheless. And the tower falls because a new one's going to be replacing it. So it's change that had to happen. This is not a bad card. The tower falls because it has to. It's almost like the death card. And a new tower gets built in its place. I like to say that the tower falls because it's built on a bad foundation. And so the lightning strikes it, the whole thing falls, and it's quick. And if it happens this weekend in a 3-day period, and even a month period for the world is a very short period of time. I mean, look at this virus itself. We found out about it at the end of, it really became evident what was going on toward the end of February. We realized, this is getting bad. And then it was just a few weeks ago that, everything shut down. And so this is all happening very fast. This tower, as far as the virus is concerned, is happening fast, and it's going to fall. The virus is going to go away, and a new beginning starts. All right, let's see what's at the bottom of the minor arcana cards, as I pick them up over here. And okay. Well, this is interesting. I like this card. Let me take a closer look at it. It's the Three of Cups, which is one of those cards that I like to say is a party card. Because it has in this case, the three young ladies, and they're sort of dancing around. But it's a nice day. The sun is out. They're holding up their cups. They're sort of having a little celebration there. And it's a nice picture. The Three of Cups. Now, the threes represent creativity. And, maybe people are getting creative during this time because they're stuck at home. They're looking for things to do. But also, as we come out of this, creativity will go back into the workplace. The Three of Cups themselves, and I am getting tired, so I have to wrap this up, is talking about celebrations and friendships. your little support circle, like your close group of friends that you can be in touch with. So it is a very happy card. Celebrations, friends, happiness, your little support group. And people are staying in touch with each other. And we're finding, friends and family that are really stressed out and they can't leave their homes. We can't go visit them, or they can't come visit you, and you're calling them on the phone and that kind of stuff. You become like your own little support circle. So that's what I'm getting. That card also represents community. And yes, the world has become basically one big community. From local outwards, we're all staying in touch with each other. Even me, I'm doing these readings, and because I want to get these messages out to my viewers. And I see, look at that, I have gone over an hour, so I am going to wrap this up. But it's another good card to sort of wrap up this whole reading. So thank you, spirits and angels, for coming forth and giving me these messages to convey to my viewers and the world. I thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're just watching this video for the first time on my channel, feel free to look at some of the other ones I do. Highly advise you to take a look at my intro video to find out more about me, and also to find out how I actually use the cards and everything, because I'm very unconventional. And from me to all of you watching, I say namaste. I honor the light in you. I wish you all good health, happiness, and joy. I will also mention, be very, very careful watching other readers online that get very political and very negative. Watch my last two readings before this, the day before last and before that one. There's some disturbing readers out there that are getting very political and actually wishing bad things to happen to some people. And that's not what the universe is about. They're here to help us. They're here to guide us. They're light. They're love. They're peace. And if they're going to give us messages that are negative, they will do it in a loving, peaceful way. And it will be sort of as an advice type of situation. Not the just plain old hate and negativity that some readers are spewing out there. And so I would advise anyone, again, if you're coming upon other readers that are getting political in their reading, and they're going completely negative, and they're actually looking for ways to turn the cards against a political figure, you need to, honestly, I'm just going to come out and say it, turn those channels off, because that is not what the spirits, the angels, and collectively the universe want. They're here to help us. They're here to guide us. They're here to protect us. They're not here to push political agendas on YouTube channels. They're not. Period. End of story. And anyone who's doing that is not really giving you a reading or a message from the spirits and angels. They're giving you their opinion and using the cards as their crutch. So be very wary of those readings that are online. Okay, I thank you all for watching. And again, wishing you all the best of health. If anybody knows someone or has a family member who's been impacted by this virus, if they're in the hospital or if they're sick, I hope they get well soon. If not, and it does get bad, or if they lose their lives, know that we did get a message the other day that those lives that are lost will not be in vain. The world will remember them, and they are in a better place. Their pain and suffering is over, and they're going to be watching over you. They're still going to be there. I promise you that. But it looks like we're going to lose fewer people now based on latest information, which is a good thing. And people will be recovering, continue to recover in the coming days and weeks. And we will come out of this. and there will be light at the end of the tunnel. So again, thank you for watching. I'm going to switch back over to the clouds, and peace, love, and happiness to all.